Hey everyone, welcome to Pause Mode. As usual, I'm Jason from GameRave.com. So you'll often hear the joke that fantasy sports is just Dungeons & Dragons for sport-minded folk. But what happens when you twist that analogy to bring in full-motion video games? Digital Pictures, most notable for their focus on nothing but full-motion video games, originally championed by the newly re-released Night Trap, were not ones to simply re-release the same FMV game over and over again. Unlike the arcade video games that were trapped in the Dragon's Lair control situation, Digital Pictures always try to change things up or place a bizarre spin on a genre that you wouldn't normally expect to find in FMV-class games. While this experimenting could go either way in terms of quality, it's here on the Sega Saturn that you'll find the experiment goes pretty darn well, but for all the wrong reasons. Our game of the week is Quarterback Attack, a full-motion football game where you play the typical rookie brought in to win the big game in place of the injured star. Returning to the video game realm from his other football game is good old local legend Mike Ditka, the coach, taking on the coaching job in what is surprisingly a well-acted performance. There's always that weird sort of uncanny valley moment when a person who is supposed to act out their real life does it in a game, but here the coach does a great job and never feels like he's just reading a script. Once you're actually in-game and take your offense, it's time to actually be the quarterback. The game is literally played in a first-person point of view from within the helmet, with a nice little touch of actually having the mask in place. As you line up, the game will pan over the defense, allowing you to see their formation. When I first started playing the game, I thought it was a nice touch, and then thought nothing of it. It wasn't until my second playthrough and that I realized that actually served a point. The game really does pay attention to your play calling and sets the appropriate defense. For example, if you see a whole line of blitzers, you can then call an audible of a passing play and get the ball the hell out of the pocket before some 600-pound defensive man has your hands all over you. Calling plays is like any other football game, but with a twist that I thought was nifty and don't recall seeing before in a game. You basically set your running backs separate from your receivers. This allows for some creative play mixing as you try and sort out what will and won't work. Playing the running game is a simple affair of just basically hiking the ball and letting the video play out. But it's in the passing game where the creative force behind the video game can be truly seen. On screen after the snap, you'll be put into a third-person view to help look out for the rush or blitz. Pressing 5 of the 6 face buttons will change your view to first person while looking in the direction of the specified player. You will need to both wait till the target is open and aim at him with an on-screen cursor. Once you're lined up, pressing either trigger will then throw the ball. Pressing B will bring you back into the pocket cam, which will then allow you to scramble instead. Scrambling almost turns Quarterback Attack into a driving game, as you must now press left and right to dodge the oncoming defensive traffic headed your way. The game features a decent amount of video clips, and there are nice little touches like random clips of Ditka, the coach, giving you feedback from the sidelines, random players commenting in between plays and lining up at the huddle, and so on. Sadly, like other digital picture games, the use of video clips means that there are only so many variant takes you can do before you start seeing the same thing. If you break down the play calling and players into their respectful scripted actors, you're essentially looking at 5 camera reels, each with several takes. If you start using plays with similar routes, you'll start seeing the same clips over and over again. While not a deal breaker by any means, it regretfully shows the limitations of the media used. There's also that obvious problem in that there's only 2 teams you'll ever see, Team Red and Team Yellow. Just by adding a third team, Digital Pictures would have had to have shot 2 more rolls of footage of the same things, and that would have been cost prohibitive. That means that there's no season mode, and you're basically playing one game every time. So you're probably wondering where all those wrong reasons for succeeding come into play. Quarterback Attack inadvertently creates a better simulation of being a quarterback than pretty much any other football game in existence. You literally are only the quarterback. When you throw or hand off, it's in the hands of the receiver. Couldn't snag a first down? Watch from the sidelines to see what the opposing team can do. Listening to your coach cheer you on or beg for you to improve as you march on the field also plays some weird unintentional mind games. This severe lack of not being able to do anything else except what you're essentially paid to do creates a peculiar internalized mind game within yourself. If you were playing Madden, you can't lament a missed 4th down because now you're too busy trying to play defense. Here in Quarterback Attack, you can just sit there and guilt trip yourself over and over analyzing what did and didn't work, which when combined with Ditka's coaching scenes makes you that much more focused about the next set of downs. You're actually allowed to sit back and rethink strategies. There's also this odd sense of constant need to replay to try and trigger new movie clips. If you're playing Madden or Game Day or Quarterback Club, you know what the animation is going to look like, but here you're never quite sure what scenes you actually haven't seen yet, which makes it kind of interesting. Lastly, and thankfully, Quarterback Attack seems to be one of the few Saturn games to not have suddenly spiked in price. You can easily snag a copy off eBay for around $10 shipped, give or take. It's also available on the 3DO and PC, and curiously was re-released in high def as a phone app. Quarterback Attack was an experiment that is hard to classify. It's by no means an incredible game, but it's also not a bad game nor a guilty pleasure. I had fun with it for what it is, and despite the video footage sort of not holding up too well in situations, it's definitely still worth a $10 charm to play after all these years. Alright guys, that does it for Pause Mode this week. I'll see you back on the Game Rave side next week. Like, subscribe, and comment below, and as always, play, laugh, love. We'll see you then.